So, is AI coming for your job, or is it about to spark the biggest workplace transformation we've ever seen? That's the huge question we're going to tackle today as we break down the future of work. And hey, to kick things off, just look at this quote from OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman, 30 to 40%. He's not talking about some far-off sci-fi future. He's talking about soon. I mean, this one line just perfectly sets the stage for how urgent and massive this whole thing really is. All right, so let's start by looking at the numbers because honestly, they're a little bit staggering. They're really the key to understanding what's just around the corner. Now, check out this timeline. By 2040, the projection is that half, maybe even more, of all jobs are going to be completely changed or just flat out automated. This isn't just a little trend, you guys. This is a deep, fundamental shift in the very nature of work itself. So this brings us to the first big way of looking at this, the disruption scenario. This is the one that gets all the scary headlines and really asks that question we're all thinking. Are the robots actually coming for our jobs? Well, the World Economic Forum put a pretty stark number on that fear, a projected net loss of 14 million jobs, and that's by 2027. That's really soon. And net is the key word, right? Because yes, 69 million new jobs might pop up, but that's not going to be enough to cover the 83 million that just disappear. That's a huge gap. So you might be wondering, which jobs are on the chopping block? Well, this chart gives us a pretty clear idea. We're talking about jobs that are all about routine, repeatable tasks. Data entry, admin work, customer service. Basically, if a task is predictable, AI is getting scary good at it. And that's exactly what this data is showing us. And this slide, wow, it makes that shift crystal clear. It's like a then versus now picture of the job market. On one side, you've got roles that are fading, tellers, clerks, secretaries. And on the other, you've got the jobs that are exploding in demand, people who can build, manage, and make sense of all these new AI systems. It's a direct swap of routine work for deep technical and analytical skills. But hold on, that's only one side of the coin. Now let's flip it over and explore the other side, the transformation scenario. This argument says this isn't really a story about job loss, it's a story about job evolution. Okay, now this right here is a super important piece of data from the OECD. Look, while about 14% of jobs might be eliminated completely, a much, much bigger number, 32%, are going to be radically transformed. We're talking about over 1 billion people whose jobs won't go away, but the way they do their jobs will be totally different. It's less about being replaced and more about being augmented. And here's the engine that's going to drive all that transformation. We're talking about money, a lot of money. Projections suggest AI could pump an incredible $13 trillion into the global economy by 2030. That number represents all the new industries and productivity gains that are going to create jobs we can't even imagine yet. And this quote from the CEO of Cognizant just nails the transformation argument. As companies bring in AI, they're not just going to fire everyone. No, they're actually going to need more skilled people who can work alongside these powerful new tools, people who can manage them and interpret all the incredible insights they provide. Okay, so if the future is about changing our jobs, not losing them, that leads to a really practical question for all of us, right? How do we get ready for it? Well, it's all about bridging this massive skills gap that's opening up right before our eyes. These numbers really put a fire under you, don't they? Get this, the half-life of a professional skill has now dropped to less than 5 years. That means a huge chunk of what you know today could be obsolete before you know it. Nearly 60% of the entire workforce is going to need some kind of reskilling by 2030. This isn't some minor issue. This is a full-blown, workforce-wide emergency. So what can you actually do? Here's a quick playbook. First, you've got to double down on the things that make us human, the things AI can't touch: critical thinking, creativity, true collaboration. Second, you have to accept that learning is no longer something you finish. It's got to be a constant, lifelong process. And finally, and this is maybe the most important part, learn to work with AI. Don't see it as a threat, see it as a powerful partner that can make you even better at what you do. But look, this isn't just about what you or I can do as individuals. The choices we make as a whole society, about the technology, the policies, the ethics, that's what's really going to decide what kind of future we end up building. And this slide just lays out some of the tough, really practical questions we have to answer together. How do we make sure these systems are fair? How do we deal with the economic inequality this could create? And what's the role of big companies and governments in helping people through this huge disruptive shift? These are the conversations that are going to define the next decade. So, when you boil it all down, here's what we're left with. The future of work isn't going to be written by technology alone. Ultimately, the question we face isn't about what AI is capable of, but about our own choices, our values, and what kind of future we decide to build with these incredibly powerful tools.